This is the private island, a place full of potential and possibilities. Unlike the rest of Skyblock, players are able to place blocks and shape this island to their will. There are thousands of beautiful player-made islands and many useful tools that can be used here. And due to the freedom, creativity, and potential, a custom game mode was created, Stranded, a version of the game where the player isn't able to leave their private island. Custom game modes like this are amazing for the games they are a part of, as they add large amounts of content with very little development time. Another game mode named Iron Man is extremely popular and is like playing the game a second time with worse, different progression. And look at this, a player beginning their very own Stranded journey. What will they do? What path will they take? Huh? Why did they go AFK? Are they typing something? Oh. This is the Hypixel hub lock. The rules for this challenge are no gaining Skyblock XP or skill experience from any island that isn't the hub or the dark auction. In practice, I'm not allowed to enter any island that isn't the hub, the dark auction, or my private island. I will not be spending, placing, or doing anything on the private island, and will only be here at the start since it's not possible to start the challenge in the hub. Now that the rules are explained, my first real goal is to unlock the wardrobe. It is unlocked at Skyblock level 12, and you gain Skyblock XP from doing pretty much everything. I'll be farming, foraging, mining, and fishing, while also doing many miscellaneous tasks to get my Skyblock level up to 12. And so, to start, I do the Hypixel Classic and farm some wheat. This actually has quite a few benefits, aside from the obvious, gaining money and Skyblock XP with collection and farming level. Wheat actually has a few items I will be going for. First is the farm suit. This armor gives me a small amount of farming fortune and speed. Next is the farming talisman, which gives me even more speed, and the more experienced Skyblock players might add magical power. Now, for all of you who haven't touched this game in 5 years, magical power gives the player a few base stats, which can be changed with this guy, the Thaumaturgist. Now, these stats can get really good, especially later. However, I don't have access to it. You might think, oh, you don't have access to many talismans, or oh, you don't have any good power stones, which yes, I don't. However, the reason I don't have access to magical power is actually even dumber. I don't have access to the redstone collection, which is normally how you unlock the accessory bag, which stores accessories. Now, there are other ways to increase your accessory bag. This is Jacobus, this money-grubbing mother... Calm. I am calm. This kind gentleman lets you unlock more accessory slots. However, it is prohibitively expensive. Now you might be expecting me to say something along the lines of, it will cost us 38 billion coins to unlock. But once again, we are stopped by the fact that you can't use him unless you have redstone collection. Now, this is the part where most good YouTubers tell you how they're going to get around this. But I am not a good YouTuber, so there is no way to get an accessory bag. I, like a young child whose eyes were filled with joy, naively believed that I might be able to access through other means. However, unfortunately, that simply is not possible. The third thing I'll be going for through farming wheat is farm armor, which is separate from the farm suit. It gives me slightly more farming fortune over farm suit, and even more speed. The final thing I unlock is the wheat minion. Now, minions are awesome. They slowly generate you small amounts of a specific resource. For the wheat minion, wheat. Now, with some of the more excessive resource grinds, these guys can make the process a lot simpler, since they automatically make you the resource. Unfortunately for us, they can only be placed on the private island, which is against my rules. So crafting these really just award me with a little bit of Skyblock XP. This is the bee pet. It's one of the few pets I can get without having access to eggs. It's a very early game pet, however it does give me a small amount of farming, mining, and foraging fortune, so it helps a little with all of those activities. Zombies are the simplest enemy in Hypixel Skyblock. They have 100 health and barely deal any damage. Yes, I know the footage shows them with 200 health editor, but I was just getting to that. Derpy is Mayor right now, and he doubles the amount of HP all enemies in the game have. But anyways, as I was saying, I'm killing zombies to get to combat level 4 and unlock the artisanal shortbow, which can fire arrows without loading and is also the best bow I will ever get access to. I also do a few zombie slayers, mostly to test if I can, but it also gives me a little bit of Skyblock XP. I also do a little fishing to raise my fishing level, unlock a few new collections, unlock a few new sea creatures, and get some Skyblock XP. Finally, I grind out a few fairy souls and claim my Skyblock XP from Tia. And that's about it, at least for now. I mean, if you really want to keep watching, I do have a Twitch, and I stream over there pretty often. Are you really still here? Well, I might as well tell you what's coming in the future. I want to get a 50 Midas and a full set of Mythos armor and equipment, but that's for the future. For now, have a good rest of your day.